Well, good morning, everybody. We are here in the annex with Gadget and her four new kittens, believe it or not. Well, you probably believe that they were born 2 days ago now. But I've been super busy, and so I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to get to a close-up sooner. They're only 2 days old, though. You haven't missed too much. So, I'm really here to introduce their names. Before I do that, if anybody's curious about the title, I really enjoy doing the silly clickbaity video titles. And of course, the 14 things are the 14 mom cats and kittens that we have. 14 mostly kittens, I guess, and then two mom cats. They add up to 14, I think. You do the math. So there you go. That's the joke. I want to try to wipe off this lens real quick before we keep going. Hang on one sec. Yeah, there's my thumb. Hi. Okay. Now you've got my fingerprint if you want to access my bank account. All right, hang on now. Perfect. Now let's take a real close look at some of these kittens together, if we can. See what kind of focus we can get. So, if you are just tuning back in after the last close-up that we did, I would not have predicted that Gadget would give birth so quickly. I definitely thought that she had a week or two left. And the only clue that I had that it might be sooner than I thought was if you were watching real close on the regular Kitten Academy live stream, you will have heard me say that I could feel the kittens kicking. The night before she delivered them, I was sitting in here with her on me on the beanbag chair, and I could feel one of her kittens was super active in there kicking and stuff, which is something that you don't feel until she's closer than I thought she was. So um, I was surprised by that. I thought, oh, well, maybe she's a little further along than I thought. Even with that, though, I could not have predicted that she was going to give birth the very next morning. And I'm glad Megalina's posted the names there. I had to write down a cheat sheet for myself. So we're going to go through the names in just a second. Also, as of last night, I checked carefully to see what genders they are. And so we've got a pretty good idea of that now as well. And we will go through that. It's probably going to take me a little while to get everybody's name down, as usual. Look at this, these two fighting. This is good for the kittens to do. You always see them doing this, whether they need to or not, and it's a good way for them to sort of build up their muscles. You know, that's super important. So I got the scale ready. I want to remind everybody before we start the weigh-in. Oh, hello. That I weighed them pretty late yesterday, pretty late in the day yesterday. So their weights gains, you shouldn't, you need to consider the fact that it hasn't been 24 hours since the last weigh-in, so we shouldn't expect to see 24-hour gains. That said, I would expect to see at least a tiny gain or at least no losses since last night. So that's what we'll be looking for, I think. And on that note, you will have noticed that I have been giving them some supplemental feedings and also giving their mom some supplemental feedings. She's been eating some of the extra leftover milk. And DJ was telling me that some people were concerned that that meant there was a problem, but there's no problem as far as I know. I just thought that first night that she didn't seem like she wanted to nurse her kids too much. And I was probably mistaken. She's been doing a fine job of it, but I'd already made up the kitten milk. So I thought, why not use it? We'll give these kids some extra food if they want it. And they did mostly want a little bit, and that was nice. But I'm not planning on continuing to give them extra milk unless their weights aren't what I want them to be. Um, it is nice to note that they do take the syringe pretty well. They all nursed from the syringe, which not all kittens will do, but it's convenient, I suppose, when they will. It means I don't necessarily have to tube feed them. Of course, in this case, I probably wouldn't need to anyway, but there you have it. I updated my YouTube app on my phone before we started this close-up stream, so hopefully I wouldn't have the same trouble that I've been having with the chat. But I will note that I don't see anything happening in the chat now, so maybe I blew it there. I don't know though. Somebody had told me if I turn it off and turn it back on, it might work, but then I don't know if I really have an option for that. Oh, hang on. Aha, ha, ha. I think maybe I just figured it out. It defaults to only showing me what it considers the top messages. I have no idea how it determines that. There's some really weird things about this YouTube app, but we don't have to get into that. That's technical garbage. We're here for kittens. So let's weigh some babies and see if we can get them in order and the names correctly. So DJ described each of these kittens as the most. Each one is the most of something, and we start with Axel, the boy, Axel, who is the most white. So I guess that makes him this one right here. And he's busy nursing, but we're still going to take him first. Oh, the scale got tired waiting for us. Hang on. Okay, start that up again. So let's take little Axel here. So the mom's name is Gadget, and each of the kittens is sort of named after, I guess, a machine part, I would say. I don't know exactly how DJ is considering it, or maybe a gear type machinery. So anyway, this one is Axel, A-X-E-L, Axel. That's right, isn't it? No, A-X-L-E. What am I saying? I'm doing like the Guns N' Roses guy, right? That's not it. It's not that kind. It is the other kind of Axel. Um, so little tiny Axel, as you can see, the most white, has a lot of white on him and orange. He is a boy, and he weighs 3.6 ounces today. 3.6, which is good. Uh, well, I'm sitting here. Mom decided to get up and see what he was meowing about, and then said, "All right, he's fine. I just want to curl up with you." She is still such a snuggle bunny. All right, so this is tiny little Axel. Let's see if we can get another look at his face real quick, since people want to have that in their heads. Hi, buddy. Okay, that's our little Axel. Okay, let's put him back in with his brother and sisters. We have two girls and two boys, I think I may have mentioned before. All right, you're sitting on the kittens. Let's move these kids out for you. There we go. How about like that? Some people get concerned sometimes when mom will sit on the kittens, but they yell really loud when she does, and she realizes that and gets up and moves for them when they continue to yell if they don't work their way out. And also, I would remind everybody that she's been sitting on them for the better part of 2 months now inside, which I'm sure is even more pressure, and they've been okay. So it's not really that much to worry about. Okay, so the next one is the most calico, and that, of course, is this one. This is Sprocket, and as most calicos, almost every calico is, she is a girl. So that's Sprocket, the calico, the most calico. And Sprocket weighs 3.7. They've all been very consistent in their weights except for the smallest one. So the other three have been almost matching so far. 3.7 for little Sprocket, the girl. Hi, I know you have a lot to say. You got a very big belly right now. You must have been eating a lot, huh? Look at that. She's very pear-shaped at the moment. Probably got a lot of food inside her belly, which is good. That's what we like. So that's tiny little baby Sprocket, the most calico, the girl. Okay, sit on down there. A little match for her mom. She's got a lot more white than her mom does, of course. And you'll note, I think I've been told that calicos and torties have the same colors, but on torties, of course, they're more sort of mixed in together, where in calicos, they're more like these little blobs of color, like you see here. This is a perfect like calico example with her little perfect little blobs of color, as opposed to having them all like a tortie all mixed in. So I've been told that that's all determined by the amount of white that they have, the white genetics The more white they have also causes their colors to be more blobby instead of more mixed together. And you can even see how that holds up on Mom, where she's clearly a calico and not a tortie, but it's a spectrum. And the lesser white that she has means that this is a little bit more mixed together as opposed to being real distinct spots like that. And Megalina is our resident cat genetics expert, and she is confirming it right now in the chat, so that's good. The more white there is, the more the colors are separated, and the less white there is, the less they're separated until the point where you get something that you think of as being classic tortie, which may have no white at all and be the colors all blended, in little stripes and spots and things. So really cool the way that works out, and the way these two are such a great example of it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Megalina's being humble and saying all that she knows is what she read on Wikipedia, but she's gone through the trouble of reading what's on Wikipedia and actually doing, I think, a bit more reading than that. So, she may not have classical training in being a cat geneticist, but she definitely knows more about it than most of the people I know. All right. So let's keep going. We got to turn the scale back on again. It gets tired of waiting for us. And that brings us to the most color. Most color. So between these two oranges, we have one that has a little bit more of a white collar than the other. And this doesn't seem like the best way to tell because it's starting to already look a little bit difficult to tell, isn't it? I mean, you're looking at them like, oh, neither one's got any collar. What are we talking about? We're gonna have to find a better way to tell these two apart, but I'm pretty sure that the most collar is also the one that I had called the most small. That's this one, and you can see there is a tiny bit of white collar there to take a look at. So I'm pretty sure this is the one we're looking for, that is cog. That's C-O-G, like a cog, I guess. I don't know what else to say there. So this is our little boy, cog, who weighs 3.0. So yeah, a lot smaller than the others. Definitely the most small, at least right now. He may catch up though, so that's really not the best way to identify him forever. And we may want to take a look at him with the next one together so that we have a better way to tell them apart. Maybe we can find something like maybe one of them has a colored leg and the other doesn't, but you can see he's got, sort of white towards the end of each of his legs, and he's got the white belly and the white face, and then a little bit of a white ring around the collar there. Oh, let's see. Let's just scruff him for 1 second so I can show you that. There we go. And so that's little tiny cog. Super cute, huh? And then let's take a look at cog together with his sister, as it turns out. This other orange that is mostly orange, like cog is very big and is a girl. I was looking last night. So originally we'd just sort of gone with, normally orange cats are boys. That's about 80% of the time overall. I think it actually changes a little bit when you have genetics like this, though, where you clearly had both parents having some amount of orange in them. That may change the odds a little bit in favor of having an orange girl. But that is what we have here. So this is, once again, Crank. If I didn't say, Crank is the girl, orange. And you can see she's got very similar things going on here. She's got the white legs. She's got the white belly that I think will be more obviously white as they get a little bit more belly fur going on. And I think she even has a bit of a white collar. You can see it's all white through here in her face. So it is going to be tricky to tell these two apart at a glance once their weights start to come in a little more similar. Although I'm noticing a bit of a white spot right here in the middle of the back on the boy, but not so much on her. She's a lot more orange down her spine. That might be a nice way to tell them apart if that white spot stays. Sometimes as their fur comes in, those kind of markings get a bit more difficult to tell. So I guess we'll see how that works out. Also, as small as he is, not quite the smallest. I think it was zero point 0.1 ounces heavier than the smallest kitten that we've had. So, okay, that's our comparison. Let's take you away, little tiny cog, the boy, so we can get Crank's actual weight, okay? Now that we've had a look at the two of you together. Actually, I want to take a look at your neck one more time, though. Let's just take a look here. And your face. Okay. All right, we'll compare the two of them more in the future. So that leaves us with little Crank, who, as we might have predicted, weighs 3.6. I don't know what the scale just did there. Maybe she gave a sharp push when she was trying to squeak. So this is our girl orange Crank. There we go. And aren't you a cutie pie? Yeah. Now, you might know that little kittens don't have their eyes open for the first almost 2 weeks that they are around. So that's real normal. Sometimes they open their eyes as early as 4 or 5 days. That's pretty rare. I think the average is more like 10 days. And going the full 2 weeks is also not unheard of. So that's not an unusual thing at all. That's just how they are. They still manage to find their way around surprisingly well. I don't know how they do it. It could be smell because they definitely respond to smells. If I come into the room with hand sanitizer that I've just put on, they'll start hissing at me from all the way across the room. Like they immediately smell that hand sanitizer and will react to it and hiss at me like I'm a stranger. Stranger danger. It's interesting to me how little kittens that are just brand newborn and don't know anything about the world still know how to hiss when something is out of the ordinary. And yeah, they do. So Misfit Tempo, yeah, little tiny kittens, they're born knowing how to hiss at things, which is amazing to me. Um, but they definitely do. In fact, one of them hissed at me this morning. I came in and I was making a whole bunch of noise, and one of them hissed at me from sort of across the room, I think, to tell me, what's going on. There we go. But it's just adorable. So that's why one of the reasons why I try to bother them so much too. You want them to get used to people and people smells and being bothered even before they've got their eyes open. You just want that to be something that's just part of their lives. So we're always getting in here, petting them and messing with them and all that kind of stuff. There we go. Till they get super used to it. Of course, mom is named Gadget. I think I mentioned that, but just want to make sure you guys have them all. Let's see if we can do all the names now. So this is obviously mom is Gadget. The most white is Axel. The most calico is Sprocket. The collared tiny one with the white dot is Cog. And then finally we have the girl orange who is Crank. So there we go. How'd you guys like to go downstairs and see the older kittens now for a minute with me? I think we should. Okay. So I think those are all gains. I don't remember exactly how much they weighed when I weighed them yesterday, but I think she's doing a good job. As much time as she likes to spend sort of, a lot of times she'll just sit over here on this side of the box and watch them, but not be on them or with them. And it seemed to me like she spends a little more time away from them than a lot of moms do at this age, when they're brand newborn. But even so, it seems like she knows exactly how much she has to do for them because they are healthy, gaining, happy little kittens. That's good. Like I said, it's not her first litter. I don't know how many litters she may have had in the past. I only know it's not her first. So it seems like that experience has served her well. She can really gauge how much she needs to do. It seems like she's doing that quite accurately. So, hi, Teaspoon. What are you getting into down here, buddy? Oh, wow, you got some boxes, pal. You got to unpack all your stuff. What did you order? Really? Okay. I know. It's actually all my stuff. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. We've got, that's mostly kitty litter and cat food that I need to unpack today and put away where it belongs. And I will do that. I got so much to take care of. You know, KA is coming up in under 2 weeks now. It's not this weekend, but the weekend following, I believe. And that's really exciting. But there's some things that I've been putting off for a long time, over a year, since before the last KA that I really want to get done before this KA. Um, Things like cleaning out the basement that's been so long overdue. I'd like to get done in the next 2 weeks, a week and a half. And also, there's every now and then I paint the walls, or I sort of touch up paint the walls. I cover up like spots and scuffs and things just with a fresh coat of paint. It really makes everything look nice around here. And the last time I did that was before the last KA. And I picked the wrong paint somehow. I grabbed the wrong paint bucket, and I didn't realize until I'd already done, a little bit in almost every room of the house. And the shade is just a tiny bit like a dirtier white color, so it really looks bad. Like the walls, it's kind of subtle. Like I don't know if anybody notices it consciously, but subconsciously, your brain's going, "This is a dirty house." And it's been bothering me for a long time, and I haven't fixed it for myself, but I really want to fix it before people come to visit and walk away with that impression of something being off. Here, let me show you what I mean, just so that you don't think I'm talking crazy. You can see it, right? You can see this is a whiter white, and this is like a dirtier white. That's exactly what I'm talking about, where I got to fix that up. So, let's see if we can try to say hi to each and every kitten real quick, because it's been a while since we've done that. I don't know. Let's just start. This is Rafter. And I know some people, excuse me, some people have been saying that they've noticed her having a little bit of a limp once again. I haven't noticed it because every time I see her, she's running full speed and doing just fine, and jumping on both of her paws like that. So if she does have one, it's not that I don't believe you. I believe she does. Why would anybody say that? But it can't be anything too serious like last time. She probably just bruised it, jumping on something. So, no. Hi, do you want something? What do you want? Show me what you want, though. Do you want me to pet you? Oh, you do? Okay. She kind of did the wave over her eye there like she wanted a pet, but I really wish you guys could see it. Sometimes she full on pets her own head. Like she'll reach for my hand and then she'll pet her own head like this is what I want, dummy. And I don't think I've really caught that on video yet, but it is really funny when she does. I know it doesn't matter, but for the record, YouTube does it stops showing me the chat, but if I just click on it and then click on show me the chat, it brings it back for a minute or two, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Okay, this is Rafter's brother, Gabe. There we go. Or Gable. We've been calling him Gabe, but his name is actually Gable. There we go. Tiny little Gable, the boy. Rafter's a girl. This is their mom, who's Skylight, or Sky. Hi. There we go. Then we have also in the family is Joyce. Joyce is the floofy one. That crazy ear hair. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it is just ridiculous. So she's super floofy. That's a girl, Joyce. And then there's one more in that side of the family who is Alcove. That's not Alcove. That is Hot Chocolate. Where's Alcove? Alcove's usually somewhere sort of sleeping, like she's a gentle giant. She just likes to kind of nap and do her thing. In fact, this morning, a new milestone for the family, I caught Alcove napping in Teaspoon's bed with Teaspoon together. And that's something that I don't think I had seen yet, but it is nice to see that happening. Did you guys all see Alcove somewhere and I just missed seeing her? She's got to be around here somewhere. Hi, Teaspoon. I see you out there, buddy. Do you really want to come in here? You just want the food. There's no food anyway, buddy. You don't want it. It's not your food. Yeah, Steph, DK was just asking me the same thing last night about when was it that Alcove stopped being such a ridiculous floof? That was her right there, by the way, and started looking like a normal, sort of short, medium fur kitten. Yeah, I don't know. We thought that Alcove was going to be at least as floofy as Joyce was. She's still got like this super soft fur, though. Her fur is so soft and thick. So she does have some unique fur going for her. This is her right here, by the way. This is Alcove. Also, on top of Alcove being like a gentle giant, she is also the one that is the most snuggly so far, not just with Teaspoon, but last night I was sitting upstairs and playing video games, and she spent the whole time, she just climbed up in my lap and took a nap right there. That was her thing. So she wants to play right now, as you can tell, and does not want to be part of this having her little picture taken. But that's our Al, Big Al the girl. So there you go. Yeah, we'll see what the future brings. It is true, because we've had some kittens that sort of went through this same process and turned out to be super long hairs a little bit later in life. I always think a monkey is the example of that. One that, when they left here, didn't seem like it was going to be super long hair, and now is super long hair. So there you have it. Okay, so that's technically all of Skylight's kittens, but you'll notice there's 4 other kittens here. As you know, they are Cuddles kittens, the other mom cat who went to a different foster, and by the way, is doing great. I think I heard that she finally got to meet some other cats and is getting to be friends with them. So that's really cool. And her kids include this one, who looks an awful lot like Alcove, I know, but you can tell them apart if you look at their faces especially. This one has more white, where there's a little less of the white here and a lot more brown, brownish color. Do you see how that's sort of tan? Oh, there you go. You could really see it in her cheeks, right? In Al's cheeks. There was half a second where you could totally see it, and now she doesn't want to show her face to the camera, but you can see there's a lot more brown in her white there, in her face especially. Whereas Hot Chocolate here has basically no brown, just pure gray and white. Real pretty markings. Look at that beautiful eyeliner. Oh my goodness. Very, very striking. So that's Hot Chocolate, one of Cuddles' kids. That's Al. Tell them apart. That is Marshmallow. The black one is a boy. And Hot Chocolate, I think, is a girl, I want to say. I don't know why I can't remember what we checked them out to be, but so this is Marshmallow, another one of Cuddles' kids. He's a boy. He's a lot of fun. He's crazy, running around all the time and playing. And also a lap kitty, though. He's one of the ones that's likely to come and sit on my lap at any given time. Thanks, Steph. Hot Chocolate is a girl. Confirmed. Okay, that's what I thought. I don't know why I was acting confused. So Marshmallow is the black one. Then we have... this is PJ. She's not going to let me grab her. She's still the one that is the most sort of like, I don't want to be handled right now. And I've been working on her, and she is getting better, and she's found benefits to being handled. She'll even come and approach me once in a while. But this is her, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, I think this is definitely her. It's awfully hard to tell her from her brother still, but one way you can tell is that her brother has a big white spot in the middle of his chest, and she hasn't got that. You can see, look at her face. She's like, what are you doing to me? I don't want you picking me up. I don't want you touching me. The other way I tell them apart, of course, is by their back feet. She's got these cute little white toes on one of her back feet. And if I pet her too much, she'll actually meow and complain at me like, meow, put me down. But we're working on her. I bet in due time she's going to be just as snuggly as everybody. She's made a big improvement already. So then that leaves just her brother, Cashmere, who's also very gray. Is this him? Is this her again? This is her again. It can be so difficult. So that's him right there. Do you see him? There, now you can see him. He's in the plant. Hi, buddy. You sitting right in that plant, huh? Okay. Can we say hi to you, though? Come up here. Come on. Come out of that planter. Come on, buddy. I got you. Okay. All right. So this is Cashmere. He is the boy. He is her twin, and you can see that little white spot on his chest right there. He also looks very skeptical, although he's a lot less bothered by being handled than she is. So there you go. Yeah, they do have some also differences. Katia Rhonda says PJ's face is a bit rounder than Cash. Yeah, that's true. You can tell them apart just by their body shape if you're careful and super observant, but it can be hard to tell for sure. I always kind of got to look at the foot to verify, or just look at their behavior. If I pick them up and they yell at me about it, that's definitely PJ. I don't know. She's just not going to yell at me right now because she wants to prove me wrong no matter what. She's really putting up with being petted and everything, huh? You feeling good today, huh? Good. That's good. It's good progress. You just want to show off for the close-up, don't you? Okay. Well, that's it. We got a chance to say hi to everybody. I think you got a chance to see everybody up close for a minute. Custard, don't start anything, buddy. I see you facing off with Sky. This is her room first. He spent all day in here with them yesterday, and he did just fine. As long as he gives her space, he'll do just fine in here. Sometimes, though, he doesn't give them the space that they want. Like if a cat hisses at him, he's never had any respect for that, and that's a real problem. Usually, if one cat hisses at another, they'll back off, and that's friends. That's being a good cat friend. The hiss doesn't mean I hate you or go away forever. It just means we don't know each other well enough for you to be this close to me. And if they respect that for a while, then usually that stage ends and they can walk right up to each other and rub on each other and be friends. Oh, she's kind of going after him a little bit. I'll take him out of here when we leave the close-up. He'll go somewhere else, just to be safe. But in his case, he's never had any respect for the hiss. If a cat hisses at him, it almost is like he wants to get in their face even more, just to show them, just to spite them. And that is bad cat behavior in the sense that that's not going to lead to an eventual friendship. It just stresses them both out and they end up being the opposite of friends. And that's a tough one. So if only he could respect the hiss a little bit better. And it may not be that he's actually like doing it to spite anybody. It's probably not. I don't think cats really understand spite. I think that he just doesn't understand the hiss the way that he's supposed to. And that just leads to bad outcomes. It's not really his fault. But it is what it is. So we're going to take him upstairs, and maybe we'll put Logan in here for a while. Logan's very good with all the kittens. On the other hand, Logan's also got a tendency to pee on soft things like the chairs or the beanbag chair if he's got access to it. So maybe not. I hear Teaspoon, I think, talking to us through the door. He really wants to come in here and eat their food. I'm sure it's more as the food than the play. Where is he? I hear him meowing at us. He's right here. Are you talking to us through the other door? Yeah, I know you are. I can hear you. Oh, buddy. If I let you in here, you're just going to want out in a few minutes, and I'm not going to be in here to check on you. I know, you don't understand that. Okay. That's fine. We're going to leave him out for now, though, because otherwise he's going to come in here, and I'm going to go away to vacuum the floor and do the other stuff I got to do, and he's just going to hate it. He's going to regret his decision. But I see Aurora B asking, how is he doing? He's doing good. He's doing very well. We're all looking forward to his next appointment with his cardiologist in August. And until then, he's just holding steady. Okay, good job, Custard. Why don't you come with me, buddy? Let's go somewhere else, okay? Maybe you can come up to my office for a while. All right, everybody. Well, thanks again for joining me. If you want to keep watching these kittens, you know what to do. I don't have to tell you. And we will see all of you next time, and we'll see some of you next weekend at KACon. I'm really looking forward to it. Show us your happy face, buddy. All right, I guess that'll do.